Good afternoon, I'm Steve Huntley. First at 4, Governor Andy Beshear has just called a special legislative session to deal with the flooding in eastern Kentucky. It starts at noon tomorrow. Meanwhile, University of Kentucky coaches and Kentucky state officials delivered shoes to flood victims today. People tell us it meets a critical need of items lost in the flood. WIP's Phil Pendleton has more from here in Perry County.
This is Buckhorn State Park here in Perry County. This is a refuge for people. This is where a lot of people are now living after their homes and everything that they had was destroyed by the flooding. And today, some special guests delivering some help in the form of some new shoes.
What's your name? Hunter.
Coach John Calipari, along with several other coaches from other sports, joined the lieutenant governor to fit shoes and even wash the feet of some of the children who survived the floods. Many lost everything, and they say this is a very nice touch on such an essential item. Emmanuel Manny Onhanme joined the coaches on the trips today through eastern Kentucky.
I think for me, this is pretty amazing. We get the chance to watch with the University of Kentucky basketball team and the coaches. We just want to remind them that they're not forgotten. They're going through some difficult time, and right now it's just so you can have hope.
And all of these shoes were donated by Samaritans Feet, and Haynes, I am told, took care of the socks. In Perry County, Phil Pendleton, now back to you.
The Coach Calipari Foundation donated 5,000 pairs of shoes, and Haynes donated 10,000 socks. The group started the day at Jenny Wiley State Park in Floyd County. We'll have more from there at 4:30. A church in Floyd County is hosting 2 volunteer groups working to help those affected by floodwaters. The Rock Fork Regular Baptist Church in the Garrett area of Floyd County is hosting Samaritan's Purse, as well as the Billy Graham Rapid Response Team, and assisting in their efforts to reach out to the community, help with flood cleanup, and minister to folks in Floyd County. Pastor Willie Cray says it's an honor and a blessing to be able to welcome in these groups and help them take care of folks in his hometown.
I've prayed with so many people and I've listened to so many stories, and you're wondering, what else can I do? What more can we do? And so to be able to host the Samaritan's Purse and the Billy Graham Rapid Response Team is a huge blessing for us, to be able to know that these people are here and they're here to help one another.
Crace also said Samaritan's Purse continues to search for day volunteers. Officials with the organization say you can come to the Rock Fork Regular Baptist Church Monday through Saturday at 7:30 a.m. and 12:30 p.m. to sign up and work with a volunteer group. We'll have more from the church tonight at 5:30. Several county and federal officials met at the Hazard Perry County Chamber of Commerce meeting this morning. They discussed how areas are moving on following the historic flooding. One certainly of the long-term issues facing our communities right now is temporary and permanent housing. WIMT's Dakota Makris has more on that.
We have reported on countless people living in tents and makeshift homes as flooding left them homeless. Many homes washed off their foundations, a reality faced by numerous eastern Kentuckians.
The mayor and I, along with our partners and teams, are starting to discuss the temporary housing. But while we're doing that as well, we're starting to talk about the long-term housing.
An American Red Cross representative said preliminary damage reports show more than 7,000 homes were assessed. A little more than 1,600 homes were either destroyed or have major damage. The Housing Development Alliance and Hazard is one organization hard at work helping people rebuild their homes in the counties it serves.
In addition to that muck and gut, you have to treat any exposed wood so that mold will, if you've got mold, you got to kill it. And if you're gonna, if you've had water, you need to treat it so mold won't grow later on.
If you need help cleaning up your house or rebuilding help, you are encouraged to register for the Crisis Cleanup Program. It is how outside volunteer groups get to people in need, saying that is needed for the long-term recovery.
If you go out and you help somebody and you clean them up, you get them to that point where it can dry out and they're not in the system, they may not get the follow-up help.
Hoping to get people back into a home as fast as they can. In Perry County, Dakota Makris, WIMT Mountain News.
County officials encourage people to apply for FEMA aid and to appeal if you are denied. The Kentucky Educational Development Corporation is still helping with flood relief efforts. They're now focusing their attention on books. They're collecting books for not county school libraries right now. Allie Blake has more on how you can help.
It all started when Dean Jones, a 25-year veteran teacher in Knox County, read a book about bringing books to Appalachia. She saw the devastating floods and wanted to be like the people in her book, therefore creating an idea that now will turn into a reality. Dean then reached out to Charge and KEDC about what she read and how in the book they helped Knott County. And with all Knott County has experienced, they can step up and help. She mentioned how excited she was as a young teacher to create her classroom book collection, and many of these teachers now have nothing.
You know, a child that maybe has lost their home and everything they own has been shoveled up and sit on the sidewalk waiting to be picked up, and they have nothing. If a book could bring just a little bit of happiness and maybe take their minds off of all the tragedy they've been through, that would be worth it all.
You can donate the books to the drop-off locations on weekdays between 9 a.m. and 4 p.m. until September 9th, with hopes that they can deliver these books just in time for the new school year. In Lexington, Allie Blake, WKYT.
And we will have more on this effort tonight at 6. First look at the forecast this evening. Not looking too bad outside. We haven't seen much in the way of any kind of rainfall that would dampen the doorway so far today, though the temperatures, those will start to move on up as we head into the next couple of days. Downtown Whitesburg's quiet right now. Plenty of sunshine there. Just a few fair weather clouds this afternoon. Temperatures around the region low to mid 80s, just like the last few afternoons. We're right at or just below average for where we should be this time of year. We should be about 84, so we're not that far away. A rather average day to start. Dew points are in the upper 50s and low 60s, so while it may feel a little warm in the sunshine, we're not dealing with this sticky weather yet. That looks to return as we head towards later in the week. Details on that a little bit later on. Satellite and radar over the last 6 hours, not much to comment on. We just had a few clouds out there. That's about it. Plenty of blue sky out there. Day planner as we work into the evening hours, 82 by 5, by 9, 72 and clear, and into the mid 60s by the time we head into the overnight hours, though we'll have to watch for some of that patchy fog. I've got the details on when we could see, though, a return to a few showers and storms and certainly some warmer air. That's coming up in just a few minutes. Steve? Evan, thanks. The Shelbyville Police Department is mourning the loss of one of their own. Officer Thomas Elmore was killed in a hit-and-run crash this morning in Louisville. Officers say a driver hit him while he was on his motorcycle. Elmore was off duty at the time. Officer Elmore had retired from the Louisville Metro Police Department. He came out of retirement to join the Shelbyville Police Department, where he had been for about a year. Louisville police are still looking for the driver involved in the crash. Soccer has returned to Ukraine 6 months after Russia's invasion brought games in the nation to a halt. As CBS's Tina Kraus reports, the kickoff is a big boost for national pride.
Ukraine is back in the game, with soccer players taking the field for the first time since Russia invaded their country. An injured Ukrainian soldier helped kick off the match at the Olympic Stadium in Kyiv. Still under threat of attacks, no fans are allowed, and athletes will rush to bomb shelters if air raid sirens sound. This coach says soccer is the thing that moves emotions in Ukraine and touches those who are fighting for us all. While professional soccer hasn't been played in the country since February, Ukrainian athletes still competed in matches around the world. Their victories celebrated even on the front lines. Some teams are missing from the league that just restarted, including clubs from Mariupol and Desna Chernihiv, whose cities have suffered brutal destruction. This player says some people are forgetting about the war in Ukraine. We must use these games to remind people the war isn't over yet. This match ended in a draw, but with one goal achieved, a fighting spirit on and off the field. Tina Kraus, CBS News.
Soccer has returned during a big week for Ukraine. Today is National Flag Day, and tomorrow is the nation's Independence Day. Well, the U.S. State Department is warning Americans still living in Ukraine to leave immediately, fearing an escalation of Russian attacks ahead of the country's Independence Day tomorrow. That day also marks 6 months since the start of the war, and intense shelling is still going on in many parts of the country. Monkeypox has now been reported in all 50 states. Yesterday, Wyoming became the final state to report a case of the disease. So far, more than 14,000 cases have been reported across the country. CDC data reports New York currently has the most infections with more than 2,700, followed by California, Florida, Texas, and Georgia. Health officials say the disease is mainly transmitted through skin-to-skin contact. Madison County will soon have monkeypox vaccines available. The health department says it has a limited supply on order. They will be setting up appointments once the shot arrives. Most monkeypox vaccine clinics have targeted at-risk populations, including gay and bisexual men. Vaccines have been in short supply. Now, Kentucky is now up to 22 cases, but as of now, none have been confirmed in our region. Coming up on First at 4, storms across the country are providing major headaches for those flying, as many flights have once again been delayed or canceled.
And things continue to warm up as we head into the midweek and beyond. The full breakdown on how warm things could get this week coming up after this.